What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Original Next Level Gaming Show. It's Sunday night, and that means we're here talking games with you guys. What's going on, brothers?
Hey.
Not a whole lot.
No, well, I mean, it has been a quiet weekend, but here we are.
Here we are.
The Olympics.
Back at it again.
The Olympics are over.
Nice.
Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea that the Winter Olympics had ended. I didn't know that the closing ceremonies had already gone on.
I didn't even know it started.
Yeah.
Well, my wife's into the figure skating, and so it's been a good one for her because apparently they added like a team contest to it now, where it's almost like gymnastics. Everyone has their own, their own. Like the ladies do a long and a short, and the pairs do a long and a short, and the ice dancers do a long and a short, and the men do a long and a short, and that's just their own. And then they all do all that again, or first, for the team. So it's like you see this. I don't even think they change routines. So it was, I'm like, I'm just gonna go stream video. I'm gonna go stream some KCD or something to the laptop, and we'll be good. Although I did thoroughly enjoy U.S. curling's gold. That was just fantastic to watch. It was just so great.
I have never seen this much attention paid to curling as I have this year.
Well, it was a Russian doping scandal. It's like, what do you need doping for?
Right.
You know, to move that broom like one stroke faster than the rest of the team, or what? What's the deal? Don't know.
There was almost like a fight in one of them, where I mean something happened at the very beginning with Canada and touching the rock, touching the stone, and all that nonsense, and it's really they're trying. It could be theatrics, but it's hey, they didn't the U.S. men's gold, right?
Yeah, it was a fantastic game to watch too. Like it was pretty tense. There were some hot moments, and then the U.S. broke open with like this ridiculous 5-point end to just like crush it in the 8th, and pretty much they were coasting from there. It was something. And I gotta say, I love these guys. They're playing from like a beer league, like they came from like nowhere. They kind of sucked the last 2 times out, and then they just said, "Well, no, we're done with that. We're just going to start winning." And then they did, and we're watching it. And I was like, what is up with these guys? I'm like, those are Olympians. Those are Olympic athletes. I get that they're a little punchy, a little punch there, whatever. Those are Olympic athletes. Those are the best Olympic athletes.
I think it's like the bowling on ice.
Yeah, kind of.
You may not have ever seen. I don't know if you've ever seen this in your time here, Peter, but shuffleboard. Have you ever seen shuffleboard? If you ever go to a yacht club.
Yeah, and they have sand on it or whatever?
Well, kind of. It's not quite sand because it's more of a graphite type powder, and basically curling is the larger version of that on the ice, where you would throw in shuffleboard. You'd have pucks that were metal, and that's where the powder would come in, Nate, where you put it on the board, and the board goes all the way across, so you can have it can be like a 20 or 30 foot board. I don't know what the official measurements are, and you basically push the puck to the other end of the shuffleboard, and it has to land in a spot where you get X amount of points, and it can't fall off the back end of the board. This is literally the ice version of that, with big ass stones and brooms. I want to know what do the brooms do, Juan?
What the brooms do? You see, the surface of the ice is rough, so that is what lets the spin kind of get grabbed, right? If you want let me make sure I'm thinking about this right. If you want to kind of speed the stone along, or give it a little extra distance or a little extra curl, because they're curving them around guards and such. You brush really fast so that little bit of melt on the ice, that little micro layer of water in between, gives a little smoother surface to go on. And so if you want to go a little further, you brush the hell out of it. And if you don't, then or if you want to get less curve or more distance, you brush the hell out of it. As far as I understand.
As far as you understand, it sounds like you've researched this.
Yeah, well, we were watching it, and I'm like, there's all this terminology I don't know. The house, the button, the stone. I mean, I forget what stones were, obviously, but so I just Googled it. I'm like, okay, now I want to know how the scoring works, and it's actually really simple. You just want to have more. You just want to have a stone. You get a point at the end of every end or inning for every stone you have that's closer than all of theirs.
Okay.
And so if you have one stone that's closer than all theirs, you get 1 point. But the last team has a bit of an advantage in that they throw last. They have what's called the hammer, and they could maybe knock one knock one in, or have two. You get that advantage with the hammer. And so if you don't take an end, if you don't score, because only one team can score, then you get you get the hammer the next turn.
Gotcha.
And so it goes back and forth. But basically, in that gold medal game, the U.S. did an awesome job, and they ended up with a 5-point end, which is, I've never seen anything like that, where they managed to get 5 of their stones closer than every stone Sweden had. And, and that kind of, it was kind of a touch and go match until that point.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was truly an Olympic spectacle. It was great.
Yeah, see, it's like Coop says, or Beaver. It's shuffleboard on ice. That's exactly it. And dilly dilly to you, Super Cooper. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
So, the only shuffle thing I know is what?
It's called Schulen.
Schulen.
Yeah, just look it up on Wiki. It's kind of like you kind of have a lane. It's made out of wood, and then in the end you have like 4 slots, and then you use like little round wooden discs, and those slots they have points assigned to them, 1 through 4, I believe. So you have to come up with the most points. So you have to get those discs through those little gates and those slots, and
Okay.
that's what you do in the Netherlands.
All right.
Nice.
It's not that far off, honestly.
No,
it's really not. So, well, that's cool. I think so. I don't know how we started talking about curling.
I was just talking about the Olympics. But
Yeah.
So, but it's the Olympics are over. So, and apparently the U.S. team has not done its usual great self. I don't know where they placed overall medal wise, but the news articles I saw today coming out of the Olympics where U.S. tries to figure out how it went wrong. So apparently something was not. It wasn't all good in the land of Olympic. How do you say Pyongyang?
something like that.
Something like that. I'm close. So yeah, not all was good with U.S. Olympic sports. And this year I saw a couple of funny things. I saw a skier in the slalom almost run over a squirrel, and a luge person run into a broom, which was not funny, but
No, imagine not.
yeah. But still, I mean, this has been some weird stuff. And then this is the part that I don't understand. And this is why, like, my wife likes to watch. My wife likes to watch the figure skating as well. I want to know how it is that you can literally fall on the ice in the middle of your routine, fall down completely, and somehow still get a silver medal. I can't fathom that one.
But
the rest sucks.
well, the scores are not just for that particular program. Then
I
'Cause
get
you have a
that.
long and a short, and then there's also that you're going to get hit on your technical, but maybe your artistry saves you some. I know more about figure skating than I really want to admit, but But yeah, no, it's plus there was a lot of falling this year.
There was a ton of it. I mean, and yet they were doing. It wasn't. I don't know. I have a hard time with the whole idea of you can fall on the ice, and then the folks who didn't fall on the ice. The one U.S. skater who literally did like 5 triples in their routine, and they got knocked off the podium. So how does that happen?
There's some less than objective judges sometimes too. You can run into that as well. But in other news,
sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know how we got on this, to be honest. But
big day today. Got my my 4K HDR installed today. So that's what I've done today. I helped a buddy move some stuff, and then I came right back home and just been going from game to game to see what's what.
Fantastic! Congratulations. What'd you get?
It's super sick. It's a 65-inch Samsung 4K HDR.
Nice.
Very nice.
It was a little tricky getting the HDR working because it technically doesn't support the HDR10, the HD, whatever that standard is, but you can manipulate it and update it and get it going. So
okay,
everything's good. But yeah, no, it's crazy good. I played both Forzas. I fired up Gears 4, and it's ridiculous. I fired up Halo Wars 2, and those blur cutscenes. It's just what else did I play? Of course, I've been playing KCD, a lot. So there was that. I had a pretty funny video, which is on my Twitter. People can look for it if they want. But basically, I got into a fight with these 2 humans, and
this was great.
One of them had a bow, and so I kept putting the other guy between us, and I was sword fighting him, and I wounded him to the point where he capitulated, and then he's gonna take a knee, and he puts his weapon down, and I'm gonna walk up and talk to him, but the other Cuban fired an arrow at me, kind of and it landed in that dude's back, so he just keeled over and died. I'm like, well, okay, never mind. I'll just not talk to that guy then. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I went hunting with that Lord Fancy Pants douchebag.
Oh yeah,
and
it's so funny.
I had more rabbits than he did, and had to save. I don't want to spoil too much. It's so good though. This game, I love KCG.
Let me give you one tip: cook the rabbits.
Right.
Cook the
they
rabbits.
last longer.
Nice.
Nate has disappeared.
All the rabbits that I got in the contest.
He's in his hole. Get out, Nate. You're not a rabbit. Come on.
It might have called them poached. I don't know. Every one that I harvested during the contest came up as stolen, so I just dropped them. I had plenty of food, but
yeah, since you don't own the land, all the animals you kill are
poached,
stolen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to kill a boar, but I couldn't. It ran from me, and it's not like
Well, I had 2 boars chasing me. I was even on a horse, but wherever I went, it's like
that's horrible.
They wanted to. They wanted to be your pets.
I guess
It wasn't. I mean, definitely not like Horizon Zero Dawn's hunting mechanism. That's for sure.
Oh no.
This is yeah.
This takes skill.
Yeah.
The bow, it's like yeah.
So I can't get enough of Kingdom Come Deliverance either. It's and I keep going back. I finally went back one more time and went back to we did it last night while we were chatting. I went back so I could buy the stupid wine for Stephanie because there's just zero way to there's zero way to win that damn archery contest. It's just not. I was pinging Rick on this last night. I'm like, you made it purposely so we couldn't beat that. It's on purpose. He said yes, that and lockpicks, of course. So I bought the wine, and
you bought wine?
Yes.
Means you didn't see wine laying around?
What? Not that wine. What?
I don't know. What kind of wine did you need?
I needed that special wine for Stephanie.
I don't know how special it is, but I got a couple of flavors.
Stephanie's in my rearview mirror. I took her money and got down.
Well, I'm still afraid to go back to Talmberg because wait, what just happened? What is Nate?
I think
there he is.
Oh,
All
there's
right.
Nate.
Yeah, I'm still afraid to go back to Talmberg because there's a bounty on my head.
Yeah.
I owe them money.
I don't know how many places
I
I'm
went
going
and
to
paid
get.
on this. I had to start over because when we had Rick on last week and he told me that you can beat Kunesh in a fist fight, I was like, well, screw that. I'm not going to have that taint this playthrough. So I started over and I whooped that guy's ass and he got the hands. But yeah, no.
He
So
got the hands.
yeah. So because I was playing strength that way, I told Miller Peshek he could take his job and shove it too. I ended up going and making money elsewise and came back and paid him off. So I'm a smooth talking swordsman in this playthrough, and I'll probably play again so that I can play a foul thief.
Dark Knight.
Exactly.
Dark Knight. I told Fastback says he was able to convince the archer that won to give up the wine for free. I told him the same thing, and he told me to pound sand.
You probably didn't have enough speech crap or speech skill.
I started out with speech because I sure as hell can't fight.
Well, the thing that's awesome about this game is it all matters. Like maybe you were a little tired, so your game was a little off, or maybe you were a little hungry, or so you came across a little hangry. It's all that stuff. The systems are so deep.
Yeah, it actually does. I'm actually there's so many factors to this game, but I can't get enough of it. I just can't
it's
get
pretty
enough.
Great. It's most of what I've been playing. I've been working on retro, for the show, and I picked up some more cards, so I was pretty happy about that. So yeah, no, mostly it's been, aside from kind of experimenting with the 4K, it's been mostly KCD.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind getting into Monster Hunter too, but with the stuff I have on my plate and the backlog and everything, I don't know if I'll do it before Sea of Thieves. And pretty much Sea of Thieves is going to own my soul when it comes out, I think. So.
Yeah, especially after last night.
I didn't do a lot. And I mean, I showed up for the stress test. I played some, but not like I did the closed beta, honestly, because I want to kind of not get wore out on it beforehand.
Sure.
But
that's why I didn't play at all. It's like, I don't want.
So you didn't get into either stress test, right?
No, I was able to, but I didn't.
Right. Yeah, you didn't.
I didn't want to get.
I had
spoiled too much, and
I had to. I had to get in once before because I spent all last weekend playing Kingdom Come. I really wanted to play this before March because I missed it.
Well, the reason I asked about Peter getting in is because the little touches of the world they've added are kind of nice, like the fish and the birds and the different interactions with the NPCs. It'll I think it kind of alleviates some fears some people had about it, but I think it's going to be something special, that game.
Yeah, I've seen the screenshots and stuff.
So let me tell you a little anecdote about that game. Today I helped a buddy. His sister was moving, so I helped unload the truck a little bit. And when I got there, a guy that I used to autocross with, because you guys remember I did the autocross racing, and since I hadn't seen that guy, we used to autocross together. I hadn't seen him in a couple years, and I since got my new car, that little black Betty there. And I expected him to walk up and ask me what happened to the Mustang or that car or whatever. First thing he says, "Hey, are you ready for Sea of Thieves?" And he was talking about his adventures in Sea of Thieves, and I'm telling you, it's going to be something else. And I really applaud Rare for taking a thanks, Coop. I really applaud Rare for taking a different tack with multiplayer, where I don't have to worry about light levels. I don't have to worry about keeping up with my friends. I can play with them whenever. Man, it's gonna be so great.
Right, and I think that's one of the things about Sea of Thieves that appeals to me as someone who can't game as much as he'd like. For example, and I thoroughly enjoyed it the other night. We're playing. Me and Rick, Nate, and Rick's friend, we're playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and we're doing the the multiplayer, the elimination, and all that stuff. I was like level 4, and everybody else is like level 12, level 15, level 16. I get my ass kicked. And I had fun because I was able to get a kill here and a kill there, but really I was outgunned and outmanned because I didn't spend the time to unlock. It's the same thing with Rainbow Six Siege. I like playing Rainbow Six Siege. I really, really do. But when I play, I'm outgunned, I'm outmanned. I have 3 operators unlocked because I haven't been able to put the time in that everybody else has, and so I feel like I'm behind. With Sea of Thieves, I don't think you'll never feel like you're behind. Juan, you've been playing it much, much more than I have, and we were able to just kind of roll in and go.
I think cosmetically you might feel left behind though. When you see like CrazyJuan, like all dressed up.
Oh yeah,
and,
for the clothes.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that, and they're going to reset that anyway. So
right,
but his skill level is only based upon his experience. It's not level based. So, it's just based on how long he's been playing the game as far as how well his aim is shooting, or, his sense of where the treasure is on a map. But it's not, he doesn't have skill sets that I don't have. He might have some weapons I don't have, but he doesn't have skill sets. So I think that's a big difference. Something else that I think this game can do, and I'm glad we were playing it in game chat instead of party chat. I've heard stories of folks actually not just automatically firing on each other when they meet in the game.
It's a little rare, but yeah, it happens.
And I read some guy tweeted the Sea of Thieves Twitter account and said, "Hey, I ran into some other people from Spain, which is my home country, and we just and 2 ships sailed together, and they just, that can happen." You're right. You obviously you want to fight it out with each other because that's the fun of the game, but it doesn't always have to be that way, and that's nice. I also like having the spyglass. That was really fun. Juan is looking at, he's driving, he's piloting the boat, he's trying to get us to port, and I'm up on deck looking around trying to find out if there's ships, and you can see them off in the distance with their lanterns, and you can see when they're coming at you, that you can see what they're trying to do. It's it gives you a sense of that true sense of Pirates of the Caribbean,
But you got to keep your head on a swivel.
You do.
To keep from getting just straight ambush. We had a galleon that kept coming at us kind of half-heartedly. Like, they never went into full-on pursuit to the end mode, but they'd come by and take some pot shots, and we'd kind of maneuver in a way to discourage them from chasing, and they'd okay, whatever, and go off the other way.
They went off on their own.
I did like what they did to the balance of the chest too. It seemed like the reward for bringing back a chest was a little better, so that's cool. Agreed. And there was a lot of stuff in there I didn't get to. Like, I would have loved. I'm gonna have to have a hook. Gonna have to have a peg leg.
Yeah.
So when you're using, I have a question. If you're using like game chat, is it once? Because my problem is like, once a couple of guys are on shore, it's really hard to determine like where you guys at, especially in party chat. If you're in game chat, does it have like directional audio and can you hear if somebody's close or not?
I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know if there's direct. I don't know if directional chat is. But then again, remember, you didn't have GPSs back then.
Yeah. No, I know. But you had a voice.
Yeah, and so you can do that in game chat. It's proximity based, so you can.
Right. So maybe I'm curious.
Yeah.
About it.
So might be worth looking into when it launches.
Yeah.
Well, and if you got Game Pass, it's going to be part of Game Pass.
Ooh, yeah, and if you were smart, you got it for $5 a couple weeks ago. So.
If I was smart. But I guess I'm not, Nate.
No, you left us and you became a professional actor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So anyway, and Double X Zoner Double X was asking about. I'm just gonna call him Zoner. I think that's probably what he was asking about. Kingdom Come Deliverance in the chat too, and I think all of us who have played it here, minus Nate, who hasn't played it yet.
I know.
Not yet.
But even the owner is not mad at me. Okay.
So you think?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's not gonna say.
Behind your back.
Right. He's
I
not gonna
saved
tell
his
you.
life. Okay.
He's not going to
Multiple
tell you to
times
your
last
face.
night. I saved his life multiple times last night.
Yeah, we endorse. I would feel comfortable saying we endorse that game too. It's a phenomenal game.
Yep, it's so far probably my game of the year thus far.
It's up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely up there.
It's early yet,
It is.
but
And it kind of stinks because, towards the end of the year.
It did win Game of the Year last year at PC at E3 though, so it has not won nothing, which is nice.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's got potential to be. I mean, I can't think of a game that's got the scope and scale this year. There's been other games, Witcher 3 obviously, and games like that, but I can't think of a game this year so far that's got the scope and scale of it. And does so many things right. Yeah, it's got bugs. Go ahead.
well, I was say for me the big deal is that it's so refreshing to not have a fantasy element in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That it sets apart from everything else on the market.
that it plays like a Robin Hood game, really.
That's why with Skyrim and other stuff, I always play like a swordsman. Least amount of magic and other stuff.
Right, and you don't even have to be a swordsman in this game. You could just try to talk your way out of everything. You could run. Yeah. You could be brave Sir Robin.
Not to completely derail us back to it, but yeah, I was playing it today, and I was looking for a dude, and someone knew him, needed me to clear out these two bandits, and I tried a couple times to attack the bandits, and they were too tough for me to take in a straight fight. So I found their camp, and I waited for them to sleep, and I killed them in their sleep.
Wow.
Because I can, because it just gives you that kind of freedom. So yeah, to hell with it.
Nice. That's nuts. All right, so that's that pretty much encompasses all we've been playing this week, right?
Yeah.
No. Well,
whoa,
yeah.
Peter,
Whoa.
Peter.
Division.
No, this on Tuesday it's a PC game on Steam. Just came
that's right.
to early access. Hunt
right.
Showdown.
Yes.
Yes.
It worked great the first time.
Yeah. It worked single player. No, I mean it's early access. It had some issues.
It was
with,
the first day. I can't really. I mean, if anyone remembers in November when Call of Duty came out the first day.
Yeah, that was a disaster too. No, it's a really cool game, and the setting is like like there's good horror movies when you have like slaughtered animals and neighing horses and other stuff, and basically you hire like you hire like a what's it called? There's
A mercenary?
Yeah, something like that. Bunch of cowboys, and so you hire those, and then you have to find clues, and based on the clues that you find, it narrows down the map, and then you have to find one last kind of boss. And once I've never found. I think we found the boss, but I don't know exactly what happens after that. Because once you pick up whatever that boss drops, then everyone else gets alerted in the game, and they start hunting you, and you kind of have to escape. But we never got that far. But,
multiplayer.
It's it's a little it's PvP with a little PvE aspects. You can team up with a buddy. I teamed up with Super Cooper, or you can play solo, or you can team up with a random person. But you have teams of 2, or teams of 1. So, but the graphics are really tight.
Yeah, once you guys got started and the game actually let you in, it was actually really cool looking.
Yeah, the graphics very nice.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to look, there is a video there's a stream that you guys did on Thursday. Thursday? Was it Thursday? I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was on Thursday.
In the video section on our Twitch page here, just click on the. Don't do it. Well, you can do it right now because it won't cut you from the podcast. It'll just put it down in a little window. But if you look, there is a Hunt the Showdown video featuring both HTK and Super Cooper. And maybe what we'll do is rerun that during the week so people could see it if they missed it.
Cool.
So that's one of the things I like about Twitch is the ability to rerun our streams and things like that, and have people that host our channel have it playing on their channels too and stuff like that. I'm still looking at what happens to streams that roll off. So far, none of them have, but we talked about it. I'm still going to probably export a bunch of the podcasts to YouTube just to have them just in case. But I haven't seen any of our videos yet kick out. So we'll keep an eye on that. And in the meantime, I think, speaking of Twitch real quick, before we get to our first topic, I also like the fact that we're starting to get some stuff rolling on the page here a little bit. Between Super Cooper and the HTK with him in the showdown, and we've been doing yesterday we did the Sea of Thieves and Kingdom Come, and we've been trying to get some stuff rolling on here, and I'll put it out there once again. Anybody who wants to get into streaming that doesn't want to the trouble of managing their own page and all that stuff, come talk to us because we're still looking for streamers. If you've got whether it's PC, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, what little bit of Nintendo you can stream, come see us because we'd be happy to get you out there. So, all right, I took a new picture of this, so hopefully it should work better. I wanted to start with this month's or January's software NPDs. We'll see how well this looks. This will do. Now, I'm not a big pusher of the hardware NPD because that just leads to stupidity on the internet, which we'll also get to later on. But I want it. It's good to note because we like to talk about the positives and we like to accentuate what's going on right in the industry, even when we do criticize here and there. But apparently, NPD numbers, according to NPD, everybody seemed to do well this month, or in the month of January, as far as hardware goes. The Switch actually sold more physical consoles than anybody else. The PlayStation 4 overall did the most in revenue, and the Xbox One had its strongest January, I think, ever, thanks to the Xbox One X, which apparently, look, I have been mea culping a lot lately, whether it's been with PSVR and my preconceived notions versus what I now have experienced and love about it. I have mea culpa a bunch of stuff. I've got to do it again. I sit here and I have sat here multiple times and said a $500 console wasn't going to sell. And apparently I'm wrong. Apparently people really have been clamoring for the Xbox One X because it's doing great numbers, and it's actually buoying Microsoft's revenue, and it's got, hopefully it's got Microsoft in now its position to do what they claim is the last step, which is the software. you guys know me. I'm still skeptical there, but I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing with the hardware sales. So, PSVR and PS Pro doing well for Sony. The Xbox One X is doing great for Microsoft, and the Switch is just still the Switch. It's still just selling gangbusters. So
the Jugger Switch. Yeah, Cooper made a good point about crazy GPU prices maybe helping the X, and I gotta agree. I mean, when I look at, I thought about upgrading my PC too, but I wouldn't even come close to touching that now, just because RAM. I mean, the GPU, like you mentioned, is up. RAM's up too. It's all crazy expensive now, and so instead I put it into the TV, and I've got some really nice looking gaming going on in my living room right now between the X and the TV. No regrets at all.
Well, when I get my 4K TV, I'll also upgrade my PS4 to the Pro, and roll with that. And by the way, you can't really see it, but for our friends at Rare, it's my Sea of Thieves shirt tonight that I got.
Nice.
I won it in a giveaway, one of the very few giveaways I win. And there's my
the guy who has Wolfenstein
and a PSVR.
Yeah, he doesn't win anything.
No, I don't win anything. It's rare that I win anything. So you get it? Rare. It's rare that I win it. Sure.
Yeah.
So
I see what you did there.
So anyway, yeah.
I see what you did there.
He says, "Don't thieve my shirt."
Right.
Try
the veal.
Yeah. So
don't pull the thread when you walk away, right?
That's right. So platform wise, this has been. I was wrong. People want the new hardware. And I don't know what else to say. I was wrong. So, now getting the software. Hopefully people can see that. I'm sorry if you're watching on mobile. It's a little tough. I'll try. Let me see if I can try to maybe just a little bit. Might be the best I could do there. So Monster Hunter World, no surprise there. #1 game of the month, and has sold very well on both consoles. I believe the split is 60-40. Might even be it's either 60-40, 70-30. But look, for a Capcom game, Monster World, that's not known to be on an Xbox platform, that's not bad at all.
Mm-mm.
That is what I call contributing to the bottom line. This could, I talked about this on Twitter. Xbox is also getting Wise Origin, and while that's an older game, it came out for the PlayStation 4 last year, and now it's coming out for the Xbox One X.
Wait, what did you call it?
I used to call it Wise as a joke.
Gotcha.
It's Yeez. I know what it is. But they, this is a chance for Microsoft's fans to show that they can actually buy and support a Japanese game. Monster Hunter World is one. This is another. I'm just saying.
Well, Monster Hunter World seems to be doing okay on Xbox.
Yeah.
Obviously doing well, globally as expected. But that seems like it hasn't been neglected on the box.
No, not at all. Dragon Ball FighterZ is #2. That's not a surprise, really, because a lot of people love the Dragon Ball series. So
it's pretty well done too. I mean, I haven't purchased it, but I was in the beta or alpha, whatever. I did do that, as a Xbox insider or whatever. You get that access, and I enjoyed it. I terrible. I have no idea what I'm doing, but man, it puts on quite a spectacle. I think it'll do well when it comes to the the tournament scene, the Evo and such.
Right. #3 is Call of Duty World War II. That's not necessarily a surprise that stays. I'm surprised it's not number 2, but not a surprise. Still heavily played by Mr. Fisher.
Yes. I didn't. Took a break this week, though.
Yeah.
But I did. I mean, I played a little bit with everything.
You thought he was lost.
Yeah, exactly.
How many hours have you put into Call of Duty?
I don't even know. Probably close. I think Assassin has me beat. He is like almost prestige max.
All right.
Yeah.
And you're just prestige.
He moved to Rainbow Six Siege, so I think he might be done with Call of Duty.
I gotta get back. So you know what? I would be willing to stream some Rainbow Six this week, considering that, and we'll get to it. It's on this list.
Well, that new Alien comes out.
Yeah, we had to stream some of that. I'm up for it. Number 4, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Now, this is crazy interesting. In December, when it launched at number 7. I want you to think about this for a minute. It's now at number 4, and you see the little asterisk. And by the way, for disclosure, and I should disclose this more, I want to thank VentureBeat for this list. I usually get it from them. They do a great job curating it, and so I copy and paste it from them. But I want to give them props because Juan and I were talking about this before the show.
Yep.
As much as we can rail on the media, gaming media sometimes, VentureBeat's a very good publication, and I like their writers. So
big fan of both Dean and Jeff.
Yeah,
and I believe others too. Those are just the ones I've interacted with the most.
Yeah, they call it like they see it. And I like that. So anyway, so the little asterisk means that there's no PC digital sales listed, which means that is almost all Xbox One sales. So, in mid-January, they had already posted 3 million sales of this game on the Xbox One. If this thing creeped up to number 4, considering what probably Monster Hunter World did in numbers, they got to be close to 4 mil by now, just on the Xbox One. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And
the game is getting better too. Like I haven't played in a while, and then the other day, last week we finally played some, and it ran pretty decent.
All right, I might have to get back to it. I left it alone for a while because I just, me, I was just having so much trouble with it.
Yeah, me too. It's like the rubber banding and a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I got a chicken dinner.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, indeed. I remember you.
I've gotten as close. I've gotten as close as second, and that's about as high as I've gotten. So
best I've done solo is still 7th. So yeah, I don't know. I just not lucky in that game. It is fun though. I think it's still gonna have some legs. There's still more work to be done, and obviously, and they're gonna be bringing over the other map and such. But yeah, I think that game's only gonna continue to go up. The only threat to it really is the constant push of Fortnite and and people pushing its popularity as the thing. I think that's the biggest threat to it is the perception that it's less popular than Fortnite or whatever. I mean, Fortnite's never had as many players, but everyone will tell you that it's more popular. Yeah, I think that's.
I don't believe that. I mean, I believe people are saying it, but that's not true.
It feels like to me. It feels like the new resolution gate. I don't want to get deep into that, obviously, but it's just catering to the people who want to hear that.
Right.
And so.
Well, but I also it is a. It's a multiplat, so there are Xbox players that are saying it too. This isn't a PlayStation thing. This is I know a lot of Xbox gamers that love Fortnite over PUBG.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched some of it. I just can't. I don't know. For me, the building, the other aspects of it, the riding shots. Like you can ride a rocket, and no, it's not. No, just no. But yeah,
What I like
think,
about PUBG is the more realistic approach.
Yeah, I mean, when it's not doing things like launching my buggy because it hit a
No,
portal or something,
yeah,
that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying though. I do like the the actual like weapons and things like that.
yeah, exactly.
I agree. And look, to be fair, I haven't played Fortnite. I really haven't. I haven't touched it. So I can't make that determination. But to be fair, I haven't touched PUBG in a while either because, again, as we were just saying, I was having problems with it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to play it until it's fixed. So now I got to go back and check it out. Now I have to see if it's still good. And to be, for disclosure, I ought to grab the Fortnite because the Battle
free.
Royale is free. So
Right.
yeah, I may as well try it. So maybe what we'll do, why don't we do that? We could do this experiment for next week's show. We ought to play some PUBG, the new, the latest, and then we should play some Fortnite, and we can stream and or record, and maybe let's do something on those two games next week, and do our own NLG comparison, and we'll give it to the people straight.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. I like it. Okay, so but I wanted to just point out that I thought so. Frankie earlier in the chat up there a little bit said that he thought he heard Monster Hunter did 6 mil. So if Monster Hunter did 6 mil and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is in 4th place, that's gotta be close to $1 million. It's gotta be. It's gotta be, and that's Xbox One only. That's no PC digital sales. That's impressive. I'm sorry. That's impressive. So, okay. Also equally impressive is Grand Theft Auto 5, which for some reason will never die. That is 5th
just
place.
Crazy.
5th place. It keeps it will drop into the back end of the 20, and then on a month like this will jump up to 5. It's amazing. I demand an investigation because something is not kosher here. So number 6 is NBA 2K18, which continues to be very popular. Super Mario Odyssey kicking in at 7, and newly crowned DICE award winner Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is 8. 9 is Mario Kart 8. We got the trifecta of Switch games, probably because the Switch did so well sales-wise. Those are your three. Those are your 3 big titles.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, those are the must-buy.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah.
And then Madden, which is, I tell you what's impressive about Madden being in the top 10 is football season's over.
Well, maybe it was on sale, so
could be. But people are still buying it, and that's impressive. Getting into the back half, we see some other impressive things. Battlefront 2 is still hanging in there at 11 with no PC digital sales, so that's all console. Assassin's Creed Origins, UFC 3, and sitting at number 14, there it is, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. What you don't see is you don't see Ghost Recon anymore. But yet you still see Rainbow Six Siege, which tells you how much that game has legs.
Isn't when is the new season? Did it already start?
I believe it may have. I don't play it, so it's hard for me to say. But I know that they've done a very good job of supporting that with fresh content.
Nate? No. Well, now you know it's hitting esports too. Frankie's favorite thing. They're starting to use this. There's a good chance that you may see a game like this. Don't all due respect to CS:GO, to Counter-Strike, but you may see Rainbow Six Siege sort of creeping in there as that go-to esports game, because I think the way they have it structured is so much more intense than Counter-Strike, in that there's built-in drama in the game, because of some of the stealth element and some of the the ability to I guess maybe the fact that it's not one of those fast-paced shooty bang bang games. There's strategy involved, and you watch that. I mean, that's something I could see you watching esports with and actually being involved in, because you're watching some strategy and drama kind of unfold.
Yuck.
I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm not talking about us. I'm just talking about, I could see, if you're gonna do esports, would you rather watch Counter-Strike or would you rather watch Rainbow Six?
Counter-Strike.
Sea of Thieves. So, no, honestly though, not. Yeah, the Siege looks a lot more interesting, a lot more unique.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we should watch esports. I still laugh when my wife sees it on. I'm just saying it has a chance to kind of creep in there as that go-to game. All right, FIFA 18 still kicking strong. Dragon Ball Xenoverse, The Sims 4, which is kind of surprising. I didn't think people still played The Sims, but apparently they do. Splatoon 2, Dissident Final Fantasy NT, and Need for Speed Payback. Rounding out your top 20. So, there's your NPD for this month. Anything jump out at you guys before we move on?
No, I'm just happy to see both the Monster Hunter and Dragon Ball Fighter. Dragon Ball Fighters are both doing well on Xbox. That makes me happy to see a little bit of support, and hopefully that'll be something that the people who made the games notice, and we keep getting more things like the E's Origins, and there was something else too, that just another one that just hit, but I can't remember what it was. Was it Bullet something?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Can't think of it now. It didn't look like really my kind of thing, but I'm happy to see it coming to the system for people who dig it.
Right. All right. So, second topic of the night that I want to get to. Let me just kick over to it. This year's annual DiCE Awards. So, everybody's got an award show. We talk about the, we've got Jeff Keighley's award show and the golden joysticks and all that. DiCE is a little different. If you don't know what basically the DiCE Summit and the DiCE Awards are, it's the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, and the DiCE Awards kind of is their big award show and summit that they have. And Phil Spencer actually gave the keynote this year at DiCE, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
you going to stream it?
No. Their awards are pretty well known and established in the industry. So I thought we would kind of go over the award winners, and we can kind of talk about those for a moment. And just as a quick side note, the Academy also brought in Jade Raymond to the board of directors for DiCE. So she is now, she's now part of the Academy, which is really nice. People who know her, she was she's currently group manager for PopCap, which I didn't realize she had moved into PopCap, and Motive Studios. So she was working on getting some of the Star Wars games moving. So
nice.
Yeah. All right. The reason I have this picture up here first, this is Genyo Takada-san. He is...
Thank you for not letting me try and say that.
Yeah. He is the corporate advisor. They call him the special corporate advisor at Nintendo. He is the man behind the GameCube, the Nintendo 64, and the Wii, the development of the hardware. He received the 2018 Lifetime Achievement Award from DICE for his work on those, and of course on his lasting. Like, he's been. Let's see. I'm going to be 45 this year in September. He started at Nintendo in 1972, year before I was born. So he will be at Nintendo 46 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty
impressive.
Yeah. I'm reading this off of DICE's page because I think this is, we hear about the big guys at Nintendo. We hear about, the Reggie Fils-Aimés and the Iwata sons and Miyamoto-san and those guys. We don't hear a lot about a gentleman like Jinyo Takeda. In 1980, he was announced as General Manager, Research and Development, Department Number 3 in the Nintendo Manufacturing Division, and he helped create the arcade and NES versions of Punch-Out!
Cool.
Which was a huge game, and still is to this day. Led the development of the Nintendo 64 system, which is kind of near and dear to my heart as a recovering Sega fanboy who cut his teeth on Nintendo on the Nintendo 64, and Mario 64 and Wave Race 64 and those. So, he's kind of responsible for breaking me in my fanboyism for Sega, which may never die. And let's see. As Director and General Manager of the Integrated Research and Development Division and Representative Director and Senior Managing Director, Takeda-san was also responsible for creating the Wii system, which, as we all know, while was not every hardcore gamer's cup of tea, was arguably one of Nintendo's, I would say, their second best selling system of all time, next to the Super Nintendo. If we're being honest, what we called lightning in a bottle, before the Wii U. What led all those meme gifs of the Wii just printing money,
right?
So,
and I had people dog on that console now, looking back, but I had a lot of fun with my even friends over that were just non-gamers. Doing Wii Bowling or the Mario Party games. I mean, it definitely had its place.
Yeah. Yeah. And he did retire, by the way. I'm reading through the rest of this. He served as a special corporate advisor for Nintendo, but he did retire in 2017. So this, after 45 years, he left Nintendo. So he got the Lifetime Achievement Award, and quite honestly, I understand why. So we salute you, dilly dilly. Indeed. All right. So now let's get to the actual game award winners. And I have pictures of them. So first up, Game of the Year. I don't think this is a surprise considering it's one Game of the Year everywhere else. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I know, Juan. I know. But pedigree. It's now a multi-award winner.
Oh yeah. No, I mean look, I don't hate the game. I do think it's a touch overrated. I don't think it's the best Zelda, let alone like GOAT. Of gaming, but yeah, no, it's okay.
I know. So, anybody else surprised?
No.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
So, also, it also walked away with outstanding achievement in game direction and outstanding achievement in game design.
Yeah.
Direction I could see. I'm not sure about game design.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think the design's a pretty well deserved win because it did. I remember when I first got it, just being so taken aback by the fact that I never got told no, and that's kind of its party piece in my opinion. I think that's where its real strength is. It never told you no, so you had all these people who would say, well, can I do this? And can I do that? Can I, use this ability and chain that with a fire bomb so that I have an updraft so that I can hang glide, so I can do a trick shot on this Guardian, reflecting the shield at him. And all that had to be designed into it for them to be able to do it. So I am pretty impressed with the design. I just couldn't be arsed to do any of that stuff. I just wanted to play the game and found that, the dungeons weren't as good as previous Zeldas or whatever. But yeah, in order to have the kind of things that people have done with it, the kind of crazy out there stuff, that had to be designed to be able to do so. And I think it was pretty unique in that way.
Fair. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
So, I know, Peter, you've played Zelda.
Yeah, I played it. It's my first Zelda that I played.
I'm sorry.
I'm still not very far, but I've played some of it. It's an okay game.
All right.
It's not my most favorite game, but it's a pretty good game.
You got a SNES Classic, right?
Yes. Yeah, I can play the old ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the best Zelda is on that, so just do that. You'll be set.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's it's convenient that you can bring it on the Switch and take it with you on a trip.
Yeah,
it's definitely
portability is nice.
Very portability, the most portable Zelda, in my opinion.
Well, there was a port of the best Zelda, which is Link to the Past, for the GBA SP, which is fantastic. Also, Four Swords on that, and Minish Cap was another great handheld Zelda on the GBA SP. Those are both fantastic Zeldas.
Okay. All right, so moving on. I would typically not include these, but I'm doing this for Super Cooper, and for those of us who actually do now have an appreciation for VR. This next game won both the immersive reality technical achievement. I'm going to move this up a little bit. It's the symmetry is bothering me, and the immersive reality game of the year. Lone Echo and Echo Arena by Oculus Studios and developed by Ready at Dawn. There you go.
Cool.
There you go, Boovler.
It's a Be the Believer.
Oh, yeah. Holy crap. Beaver Believer. The Oregon Beaver. That explains everything.
Wow.
Dang. You would have never figured that one out.
I thought he liked Justin Bieber.
I would never. I have never looked at that and said, "Oh, Beaver Believer." Well done, Peter. Thank you, sir. You have.
You're very welcome.
And now I'm embarrassed.
That's right. Lone Echo.
Lone Echo and Echo Arena is your winner of the Immersive Reality Technical Achievement and Reality Game of the Year. And honestly, I mean, I don't have enough experience with VR yet to know. He's out killing him. I don't have enough experience yet, totally with VR to make a call on this, but I'll take their word for it. And Coop said Lone Echo ! So.
Yeah, he loves that game, so.
Yeah. I didn't.
No opinion.
Yeah, I have none either. I didn't get a picture of it because we weren't going to talk about it much. Mobile game of the year was Fire Emblem Heroes. That's not really a surprise.
No, it's pretty fun. I helped beta test that.
Wait, Nathan. Wait, you actually played a game that is on this list? That you tell us about it. Talk Speak.
I mean, I don't play a lot of it. I just played that and it was fun.
What's it about?
Oh, it's just basically another it's like 4v4 multiplayer game, and you start out. It's not that big of a map, obviously, but you get power up moves and all that. Kind of like Overwatch, I guess, but you all have to attack each other's towers. You get power ups, and it's pretty big for a cell phone game, I guess. They put a lot into it.
All right, so it's like a tower defense.
Yeah, that's each side has a tower that you have to destroy, and you can't, even if you keep continuously killing people, the only way you win is if you destroy their tower.
Okay.
Is it turn based?
No.
Okay.
Full on PvP mode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Warlords on steroids.
All right.
There you go. Want to remember that one?
Minus paddles. Yep.
Minus paddles. So, all right. Hey, just want to say hi to Project Jeff who just jumped in.
Hello,
And,
Jeff.
Hopefully we'll be seeing all the refugees that came in from the mid-season premiere of Walking Dead. So, all right. Moving on. Sorry. Let's see. Next up, I did get a picture for this handheld game of the year. Since the Switch
Metroid,
is
right?
Yeah, since the Switch is not included in this. Just kidding. Metroid: Samus Returns. No surprise there, right? Nope.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a lot on it. I know it was reviewed and received pretty well. So yeah, I was just kind of surprised that Switch wasn't counted.
Well, I'm one of the few people who thinks it's a handheld. You know, it could be a console. You know.
Nah.
So anyway, the DiCE Sprite Award. I'm not sure what the Sprite Award is, but I guess it's to fit a game that might not be anywhere else. I've never heard of this. I don't know if you guys have. Snipper Clips?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't heard about it?
No.
It's cute.
Talk
it's
to
a
me.
cute. It's kind of a cute game. It's I don't know if you can play it solo, but you definitely can play with 2 players. And basically, each of you controls one of those. I don't know what you call them, those puppets. And basically, you can. Basically, it's like a puzzle. So you have to reach a particular object, and you can, when you're on top of each other, you can basically cut pieces of your counterpart, and you use that to reach certain pieces of the puzzle. So you can kind of cut it like you have a cup, and then the other one can kind of boost you up, and that's kind of what it is. And then you have to reach the.
Have you played it?
Have I played it? I think I had a demo on my Switch. I have not. I think I did play it.
Okay.
Solo, I think, but it's a long time ago.
All right.
It's all right. It's cute. It's a co-op kind of game.
All right. And by the way, Fastback, I love you, man. Say he held off Walking Dead for us, putting his marriage in jeopardy. We appreciate that. I understand that. Believe it or not. All right. Outstanding achievement in online gameplay. Anybody want to take a guess at this one?
PUBG.
Yeah.
Nate, what's your guess?
Not PUBG.
No? Survey says PUBG.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm cheating though because that's a list right next to me.
See, somebody came prepared.
Yeah.
So, it is the outstanding achievement in online gameplay. So given that we were just talking about this, Kurt, since yeah, I can see this. I can see that. I could.
What's the criteria for this thing? It's not how well it runs, right? It's more
No,
the popularity of
the pot, right?
I don't know.
I think it's about the design of the online gameplay.
Oh, okay.
So, this is, I mean, as we know, this game is pretty much the Hunger Games with guns and parachuting in rather than coming up from the ground. It's the Hunger Games, and so there aren't any real. I mean, how many other games have done it before PUBG? Not many.
Yeah, it's not an entirely unique concept, but the scale and kind of doing away with some of the the other games were all mods on survival games, like your DayZ or whatever, where it was like a survival type of thing. And this kind of just stripped it down to just the shooty bang. And I tell you, and I've tried to explain this to one of my buddies who believes that any battle royale game you could pick up will give you a similar experience, but it's just not true. You get into PUBG and there's a paranoia. Well, I'm sorry. There's two ways it can go. If you're going all serious and you're trying to do well and all that, your head's on a swivel and there's a tension as you're sweeping houses and you see a guy and you want to decide whether you want to give up your position or try to get closer. It's a real tense, exciting thing. With occasional moments of like surprise, oh god, there's a guy there, stuff like that. Or if you're just in effing around, it's totally screwball fun. It's totally whatever. We're driving along and I'm just honking the horn, telling everybody where we are because why not? And so yeah, it's fantastic. Very well deserved award in my opinion.
Okay. All right, moving on. Strategy simulation game of the year. I'm a little surprised at this one, but okay. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
I don't think it's too surprising. It did pretty well, and everyone who I've spoken to, I know it's all anecdotal and crap, but everyone that I've spoken to, is into it. I think I'd be down for it. Although my problem is I'm kind of waiting for Nintendo to drop the price on it, which is kind of like, waiting for something that's just not going to happen. But yeah, I want to get it just because it's one of the bespoke pieces of software for the Switch, which is kind of a rare thing.
This is true.
But from what I've heard, it's a fun, kind of challenging, and yeah, it looks like it's up my alley.
Yeah, it's turn-based, so I don't like turn-based.
Yep.
So it's not for me. But it looks cute, though.
It does look cute.
I mean, did it come in the same year as Halo Wars 2?
See, I think
Am I thinking right?
I thought Halo Wars 2 was last year. These would be games of last year, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Cutoff is where the store is.
I'm not sure what they're.
I'm not either. We were just literally reading the list off. There haven't really been a lot of we haven't seen the criteria.
Right.
So
I mean, I would say that Halo Wars could probably, be considered as well. That's if it's within that criteria time, but
well, yeah, I mean, when did Civ 6 come out? Was that last year or 2 years ago?
2?
2. Okay, so maybe that's why Civ wasn't. I'm
That's
just trying to think.
Yeah.
Because they're, an Age of Empires just came out, so that they wouldn't consider
probably
that.
too new.
Yeah, so that might be a consideration for next year. So, all right, moving along. Sports game of the year. Not a surprise here, actually. FIFA 18. No. Not a surprise. Role-playing game of the year. Now, Peter, you know what it is because you got the list up. But what would you two, Juan and Nathan? What would you think?
Role playing?
Yeah,
for role playing. I mean,
just says role playing game of the year.
I'm gonna guess Persona 5.
Nathan, you got a guess?
It's a PlayStation game. That's about it.
You're half right, and
Neo?
not quite. Near. Nier Automata, which I didn't think was a role-playing game. I thought it was an action-adventure game.
Yeah.
But perhaps...
You've played it, right?
I played the demo. I didn't...
Oh, okay.
I still haven't played the game yet. It's in my backlog. So... yeah, all right, racing game of the year. Juan, you'll like this. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah,
I know.
Nonsense beyond belief, but whatever. I mean, I liked it. It's the best thing that landed on Switch this year.
But it's not racing game of the year. Forza's racing game of the year.
When I think about racing, I don't think about Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think about either. I think, and I wouldn't. I would have considered GT Sport had the single player offline mode been available at launch. But pound for pound, Forza should have been racing game of the year. It was racing game of the year with,
or even
with
Project Cars, too.
Yeah. Project Cars 2 got a very good rating and has been pretty decent. But I still think the king of racers right now is still Forza until proven otherwise.
Yeah, the Hot Wheels pack was better than Mario Kart 8.
Yeah. So, and no, but by the way, before anybody says anything, no deference to GT Sport. I like GT Sport. I've played a good bit of it, and I've played the VR mode, which made me a little more nauseous than Drive Club VR. Which, by the way, Drive Club VR is phenomenal. Just saying. But yeah, I still think.
Yeah. Either one of those should have been.
Agreed.
Racing game of the year.
So. All right. Continuing on.
Fighting game of the year.
Fighting game of the year. Not a surprise here. Injustice 2. For pretty good reason. And I have not played it, but I watch videos, and I have watched... this is one where I've actually watched streams, and I've watched... I'm sorry, Frankie. I know you're not going to like this, but I have actually watched TBS Esports when they're doing this. I'm sorry, Frankie. It is fun to watch. And then, as you guys know, they just introduced the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which now means I think I have to buy it. So
I don't know. I usually like fighting games, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wore out on the whole Marvel DC thing. Maybe I'm just wore out on superheroes entirely. I just couldn't. Looks nice though, and the characters look really well done, and it had a good buzz. I'm sure it's fine. It just.
Well, I mean, it's Mortal Kombat with, I mean, really, the scheme and everything. It's Mortal Kombat with superheroes. And, by the way, the original Injustice, if you want to try it out, is in Game Pass. So,
well, then I definitely will this year, because I'm definitely getting Game Pass this year.
Yeah.
I'm Game Pass for the next 3 years, so, yeah.
Nice.
So, and not only did the Injustice story cutscenes look great, but the finishers look, well, not the special moves, rather, look really, really cool. There's some really neat special moves that these guys do that are really, really slick. So, Frankie's saying he thinks Tekken 7 might be better. I don't know. I skipped out on Tekken 7 because I was never a Tekken guy. I was always a Virtual Fighter guy. So I always skip Tekken.
I haven't seen much of Tekken 7, but I've heard Magic on his controller when he was in party chat and clicking on those buttons.
Oh right, Matt
7.
J. Matt was
J.
Matt was a Tekken beast. So, all right, let's continue on through. So we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Family game of the year. Odd choice, but I'm going back to Snipper Clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, MK8D would almost be a better pick.
Yeah. Adventure game of the year. Interestingly enough, back to Zelda. Zelda, by the way, won the most awards with 4. I'm surprised that won over Horizon Zero Dawn. Just
Yeah.
As an adventure game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, action game of the year, also not what I would think. Player Unknown PUBG. I don't know that I would put that as an action game. I'm not sure I agree with that one either. But there it is. It's action game of the year. Outstanding technical achievement and outstanding achievement in story. These are two separate, but they're the same winner. Horizon Zero Dawn won those. Technical achievement, I could see. Outstanding achievement in story? No. There were much better games in 2017 that had better stories than Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that we didn't see something like a Life is Strange or an Edith Finch or something for story.
Right.
Yeah.
There were indie games that.
Yeah, Frankie makes a good point too with the Yakuza series.
Right. Yeah, there were definitely better story-driven games. In
maybe they thought it should win two nominations, so had to put it somewhere.
I don't know. I'm just saying. That one I don't know. I mean, Wolfenstein had a better story, honestly. If I'm being totally honest, I'm just calling it like I see it. Persona 5 had a better story. I'm just saying this was not. I don't know how that won. Okay. Outstanding achievement in sound design. Boom.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Something about that theme, man. There's just something about the Mario theme.
And all the little yips and yorps and chips and chirps. It's pretty well done.
It's just something something special about that. So, Frankie said he thought Shadow of War had a better story. All right. Outstanding achievement in original music composition. Juan and Nathan, you want to take a shot at guessing this one? I think you might get it.
Yeah, we know. I know who this is. Because the recipient of the award, she was pretty impressive going up and down those stairs all those 3 different times in those heels.
Uh-huh. Nate?
This is tough. I don't know. You're going to have to surprise us all.
It's not a surprise, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is a surprise.
Cuphead. No, there's no surprise.
See?
Cuphead some of the best. Shush, you. Cuphead some of the best music overall of this year. This is a soundtrack that I just listened to. That was just. There are few soundtracks, that I've bought or ripped down, or, that I just listened to. Cuphead is one of them. Especially since I was just singing Barbershop Quartet. I mean there's a couple of great barbershop songs in this game.
Like the theme.
Like the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was the theme? I think the theme was a duet, though, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah. There's an actual Barbershop Quartet song in the game, but I think the theme is only 2 guys. Either way, I mean, still, yeah, this was well deserved. This was very well deserved. Okay, outstanding achievement in character. This is another one that Beaver Believer will like.
It's Senua, right?
Yep. From Hellblade.
Heard a lot of that, so I got no qualms with that.
I have the game, still need to play it. Dang it.
I still need to play that game too. This is going to be part of this is one of our segments coming up in the future shows, guys. It's going to be called The Backlog is Real.
The backlog is way too real.
It is real.
We're going to start that segment next week. All right. Outstanding achievement in art direction. No surprise here.
Going.
Yep.
No surprise, Nate.
No surprise.
Oh,
Nate? Yes. And while it's up there, outstanding achievement in animation, also Cuphead.
Well deserved.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And Sonic Mania did have a great OST too. I could listen to I could listen to some Sonic music all day long. So in the end, Zelda won 4 awards. Cuphead won 3. Horizon Zero Dawn won 2, and then the rest were split amongst. PUBG got 2. Lone Echo got 2, and then Snipperclips got 2.
So what game is the game that I think got snubbed the hardest? That was, I mean, I'm not talking even. I'll give you a hint. It's not an MS, game, not an MS exclusive. What game? I'm thinking like story, design, art, music. What game? What game got snubbed the hardest? In my opinion.
Life is Strange?
Nope.
No.
Although definitely that could be in there for the story or even character, but yeah, for like design, music, game design, because the side quests in this game are some of the best side quests I've seen, like all gen, and I loved the soundtrack hard. You guys know, Frankie knows.
I'm blanking here.
Prey. I can't believe
Prey
didn't show up anywhere in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Still need to play that one, too.
Yeah, as do I. Although the originals, backward compatible.
That's true.
The original Prey. So, all right. So there you have it, folks. Our DiCE Awards from 2018. Congratulations to all the winners.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to go to, and I did not get a picture of it, so I'm going to grab a picture of him real quick while I am setting this up. So there's one other small topic that I wanted to get into. I don't want to delve on it too much. I figure it's 10:34 now. If we devote 10 to 15 minutes to it, then we get to the retro rec, and we will be actually done at 11, which is great. What happens when you start nearly on time? So as I said earlier, the DiCE Summit was more than just it's more than just the awards. There are it actually and I just had it and I apologize. It actually stands for Design Innovation. I'm gonna look that up too while we're discussing it, because I want to make sure that everybody understands what the acronym is for that. Design, innovate, communicate, entertain. That's that's what it stands for. So the keynote speech this year was done by none other than, and here we go, I've got his picture. I'm just putting it where I can load it up. So this is what happens. You do this on the fly sometimes. Here we go. Phil Spencer. It's not the greatest picture. Sorry. However, so there was his keynote was interesting in a couple of ways. He hit upon a number of different pieces of what he does as the head of Xbox and what he got into and when he took over, and it's been 4 years now. So I want to get into a couple things that he said that about Xbox itself, because I think it's important, and I think that knowing this, you really look. I've been, everybody knows here on this show that I've been not hard on the man, but I'm still skeptical of Microsoft's direction and what they're doing with their software and stuff like that. I think everybody knows how I feel about that and where I stand with that. However, that said, what he said and what he talked about in this keynote gives you the desire to want to hold out and give him a shot, give him that shot to make sure that he really gets his his work done, that he gets what he wants across. And I'm willing to do that. I think that I just wanted to get a better picture of him too. I think there we go. I think that basically what he said in a nutshell was Xbox needed a reboot. They needed to. He specifically said morale had hit a low. Everybody was frustrated. They kept missing everything. They kept, there was infighting. There's all, it was like everybody needed to step back and reboot. So the Xbox team thought the leadership team had gone completely tone deaf about what the customers were demanding from us. I knew I had to do more than just communicate our strategy to our customers. I had to win back our team's trust. So there was more than just, for Phil, it seems like there was more than just the need to convince gamers that Microsoft was kind of getting back to what the gamers wanted, whether or not us old guys wanted it or not sometimes, but that in his own team, these guys, and he has said this before, these guys are human beings too, and they took such abuse coming out of 2013 that it hurt. It hurt them. They're human. These guys worked, they bled, they sweat, they teared, they stayed late, came early to devise the Xbox One, to build the Xbox One, and you'd have thought that Microsoft kicked everybody's dog. And so he had to not only turn around the company in the gamers' eyes, but he had to turn around the company in the company's eyes too, or the division in the company's eyes. And look, for better or for worse, for the things that I don't agree with that they did, it's hard not to see that where he wants to take the Xbox is where it's going. And sometimes I joke that guys like me are aging out of gaming, but it's obvious that what I want and what I wanted and what I wanted to have out of the Xbox One is simply the minority. It's simply I'm just not significant enough to get the things that I desire out of it outside of gaming. I love it as a gaming machine. I do. Lost Snap, lost Kinect, lost a lot of the things that I bought into when I bought the Xbox One, and I'm never getting them back. It's just the bottom line. And I think
Stone Soul said so.
It's
Sorry,
pretty. Yes, I know. And Elimination Chamber's on too. That's probably what people are watching too. But look, I'm never getting that stuff back. And people, guys on my friends on Twitter, even guys like Rand, were, he hated that stuff. He hates backwards compatibility, which I don't understand at all. But that's one of the things
hate
that
might
I really
be
likes.
a little harsh. I don't know.
Oh
if
no!
he hates
Oh
it.
no! He hates it. He thinks it's worthless. He considers it a waste of time. He did a video actually on why remasters are better than backward compatibility. Oh yeah, no.
I know he prefers that. I just never heard him actually say it's a waste of time, because that's that's obviously retarded. He's not a retard. So.
No, he's not. But he has said specifically that backward compatibility is a waste of time and energy.
Okay.
Well, thanks for backwards compatibility. I played Crazy Taxi today.
Yeah,
I like it.
I missed it, so finally was able to play it. It's like cool.
I like backward compatibility. I wish the games were. I do wish some of the games were better, but backward compatibility is one of the things that Microsoft has done right. Game Pass is something Microsoft has done that I have said this now a couple of times, that with what they're doing with Game Pass and putting in their new, putting new games into Game Pass, the new exclusives, is actually something that is a game changer. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm firmly believe. So for the things that I miss, and the things that, I think that they're not listening to all of us on, I think he knows where he wants to take the brand, and he's executing it. And that's why I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful Sea of Thieves sells. I can't stress enough. Sea of Thieves has to do well, because this is the launching point for first party games for him. We got to give him some return on investment here.
What's interesting about Sea of Thieves there is that I don't know that it has to sell huge numbers to be a success, because with Game Pass and everything, what it needs is an excited and active player base. If it has that, it'll be a success for Microsoft. That's what it needs more than even more than numbers.
Sure. So
maybe they should put Project Spark back in there, or put it in the Game Pass.
Yeah,
a lot of people are still asking for it.
And I don't know that we haven't heard from that studio, but I'm not sure he scuttled that studio.
No, I think it's still around.
Yeah. So there's that part of it. And so then he got into a couple of other things, some of which I think is good, some of which I wasn't sure I really agreed with. He sort of went into, and I don't want to dive too deep into this, because things like this get very touchy with people and opinions and politics and things like that. But he brought that stuff up within his speech, and some of it was very, very good, very dead on, very which I want to talk about with the toxicity in gaming. There were some things he kind of brought up I wasn't real sure about. Like when he said, he made a comment about, not putting the terms rockstar and ninja into a ad because women wouldn't respond to that ad. They would think it's male based, and he was going into inclusivity and things like that, which I think and I'm just going to say it, in an organic mode, I think it's wonderful. I think if you put your best talent on the field and your best coders on your games and I've never played a game myself ever and thought to myself, gee, I wonder what ethnicity the developer is, and determined whether or not I liked the game based on that. I'm not a fan of forced inclusivity, for whatever that's worth, but I'm all for, putting your best people on, and it doesn't matter who those best people are. And I'm going to give you an example, and then we'll move off of this. Or I want you guys to respond, of course, but we don't have to dwell on this. The Rockstar thing kind of caught me, because at my full-time job, I'm an IT manager, and I can say with great confidence that 60% of the folks that I manage are female. I don't think of them that way. I don't think of them any differently than I think of my male IT guys. One of my top engineers is female. One of my top. I've got two of them. I've got a guy and I got a girl. I call her a rock star all the time. I call her a rock star to the clients, and she has no issue with that, because she knows she is. She is wonderful. I don't know what I would do without her, honestly. And if she ever left the company, the gaping hole that she would leave in my department would be huge. But I just I didn't quite understand where that was going. You know, that was my only kind of piece of that. I'm like, what's he going on about? When he started to talk about toxicity in the gaming, as far as what he hears online, and it's not just Twitter, it's what gamers are hearing online when they're in chat. You know, it's why party chat is so popular, because game chat can suck. I'm very much on board with what he was saying there. You know, you should not be afraid to get on and game, because you're female, you're black, you're Jewish, you're you know, whatever background you come in, gaming should be a place for everyone. And I agree with him 100% on that piece of it. Gaming should be a place where we can get on Sea of Thieves and we can find some new people. And those people, other than, you know, maybe us shooting at them because they're, you know, we're pirates, should not be able to be harassed once we, you know, like I shouldn't be able to come up on somebody and have them start hurling, you know, racist epithets at me because they, you know, because they know me from the podcast here and know that I'm Jewish. So they go, "Hey man, it's that Stinger guy," and they start throwing, you know, anti-Semitic crap at me. Things like that should not be part of gaming. It shouldn't be part of gaming on Twitter. It shouldn't be part of gaming online. People should not be afraid, and people should not be afraid to express their preferences online. Juan, we talk about this a lot. Juan's an Xbox guy. We all know this. It was really funny because now we've got this Twitter thing. Are you a fanboy? And they pegged you as a quasi fanboy.
Yeah.
And you know, it's right. It's actually fairly. As funny as it is, it's fairly accurate. You are an Xbox guy. You love your Xbox, but you do not go hunting down PlayStation fans to go jump at them about it, and you know, no one should hit you for that preference. You know, the guys who like PlayStation, the guys who like Nintendo, this guy should be able to have those things and play those games and not have to wade through the minefield of bullshit, you know, that constantly happens. And when it comes to that, then I'm with Phil Spencer 100%. I think that you know, we need better people online. You know, we need better we need to be better gamers sometimes ourselves. You know, and again, I don't, you know, I think I want to kind of stick on that because there's, you know, when it comes to who you're hiring, you know, and stuff like that, I that gets touchy. But when we get out into the gaming sphere itself, you shouldn't be afraid to be in a party with a bunch of people. You shouldn't be afraid to be online. You shouldn't be afraid to game with other people. You know, I think the gaming community needs to get better there.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt, it's something where what you definitely need is better enforcement on the systems on live. You know, I go as CrazyJuan on Xbox Live, so you know, if I have a successful match and I anger someone because I'm beating them, and then you know, here come the racist remarks about, you know, whatever you would say to someone who, you know, is of a Hispanic descent or whatever, because people just see the name and they run with that and whatever. And it's kind of funny because I'm pretty much the whitest guy anybody knows, and you know, whatever. But
wait, you are?
Yeah, right. You know, but it comes down to Microsoft needs to do a better job with live, and I think most online places need. I think they're too afraid to, to take the hit on subscriptions or anything by really cracking down. But I think if there was one that was just known as the place where that stuff wasn't tolerated, and it was zero tolerance, and if you do that, you're flushing your digital library, you're flushing your trophies or achievements. I would play on that network. So, I think that's where they need to go with it. As far as like the other stuff, talking about the holiday party with the booth girls or whatever. I think mostly he was referring to industry stuff, and I'm down with most of what he said. And the stuff online, like Twitter or whatever, it just is what it is. Basic human tribalism.
Well, at least on Twitter, you have the ability to, you can control that. People. This is the only, and everybody has their, it's what you do on social media is not right or wrong. I know, Juan, you rarely block people. You don't care what they see that you say and that kind of thing. And that's if you're able to handle that on a day-to-day basis, that's good. For me, my block foo, I have a black belt in block foo. I mean, I just don't. I have zero tolerance for my Twitter feed being a junkyard. And
sure,
if I have a ton of people blocked, and if I even see it and don't even know the person, I just don't want them on my feed. I try to strive as much as I can to keep my feed positive. Doesn't always work out that way. I get that. I am human after all, but I try very hard to just keep it positive. Try to do something positive in the community for people. I'd like to think that the four of us and Frankie when he's on, I'd like to think that we give people some positivity for a couple hours on a Sunday night, just to get away from the toxicity that's on social media and on it's on YouTube, that's my thing. I just have no tolerance for any of it. It's just difficult to police all of it, but it can be done. Xbox Live's a little different because, you can mute, but then they can send you messages, and you really have to. You got to work to get rid of somebody. And I'm with you, Juan. They should have there should be better ways of enforcing that kind of stuff.
You have to be careful too, because you don't really want to have the situation where you have people who haven't, because if you put a strict system in and it's in any way exploitable by someone else,
will.
That'll be what happened. That'll be the griefing, and then you'll have people who don't deserve it losing their accounts or whatever. Yeah. So it's a fine line they have to walk.
No, I agree with that. And
but then, as long as there's a way, you can dispute it, and it will be quick and fast process to,
Yep.
That they can review your actions or your account.
I'm pretty sure that any voice chat they have, anything you say on voice chat, I'm pretty sure they can pull up.
I'm wondering if one of the things that they could do is have more of a universal ability to kick someone out of a game by vote. So if you have somebody that is that's being abusive, that somebody could start a kick vote, and everybody else can kind of vote on that.
And then it gets abused.
Well, but
then on the other hand, is like saying being discriminated against by the majority. Do you want to stick in that particular game anyways?
That's true, but sometimes it's not the majority. Sometimes it's one or two people that are just acting like jackasses.
Oh yeah, I mean
you can't do anything about it other than maybe mute them. I'm just thinking there may be a way to maybe to not okay, yeah, I got booted out of the game because they were being jerks and decided that they just wanted to boot me out of the game. Okay, I'll go find another game. That's different than all those people reported me for something I didn't do, and all of a sudden I'm suspended on Xbox Live and I can't get my account back and I've lost everything. I'm just trying to think if there are intermediate ways of dealing with those and mitigating the abuse that obviously is going to happen to it, because it happens to all of it.
What happens if you had something like a referral networks of people you play with? So if I vow for one and he can vow for 10 other friends he has, etc., and that's how you build your network. So you can have like completely separate networks. Yeah, maybe the jerks have their own network of jerky friends and they can all play together, but you never cross each other.
That's clubs, so we could use clubs for that.
Yeah,
and on PlayStation,
but you can still send messages and other stuff though too.
This is true, and that's the part that you have to get around. So but on PlayStation you have the PlayStation groups as well, so to across both platforms we have this. So I don't know what and I think some of it too is sometimes you see it happening to somebody, and maybe taking that extra step of being nice to them yourself, bringing them into your group. We see somebody that's being abused somewhere. They're catching crap on an online game. We jump out, create our own game, invite that person in to play with us.
Yeah.
Some other time I'll tell you the story of Spoon. My wife, my wife often likes to play. She doesn't play so much, but she loves to watch games. And so back in the day, we were playing Left 4 Dead, and there was a really young sounding kid on the microphone. Spoon was something in his handle was Spoon, something Spoon. But and these dudes are being right, yeah, it definitely not that. But these kids are being nasty. This little kid and everything. I ended up inviting him into my own party and everything, and there's more to it. It's too long of a story really for now, but yeah, I took the kid under my wing basically for like an afternoon of playing that game and just kind of drug him through some like, come on Spoon, let's go. And just kept dragging him through matches. But yeah, it was a short digital adoption.
Oh, and that's one good thing, one good deed, I every time I've been on a podcast and that moron has followed me around, right? And those people who are running the podcast that I'm on, do a really good job of shielding from it. They'll kick him out of the room. They'll ban him. I was on Undead's one-on-one interview last Saturday. Undead from Tick, for those of you who don't know, one of our great friends at the Inner Circle, and he had me on to discuss. We spent 3 hours talking, as we always do whenever I'm on a show, and he right afterwards, it was like 2 minutes after the show was over, and there he was posting moronic comments, and Undead told me the next morning. He said, "Yeah, I saw that immediately and deleted the comment and banned him from the site." Those are the kind of things that I appreciated that as somebody who's got this guy running around harassing me. Juan, you've got people running around harassing you, and we have guys that stick up for us, and that's where the community really lies. That's where we need to be as an entire community, is making sure we've got each other's backs, making sure that it doesn't matter, as Phil Spencer says, it doesn't matter where you came from, doesn't matter what your what your background is, what your politics are, what your skin color is, what your religion is. You got to, you're a human, and you deserve to be treated that way. And I for one, I've experienced it, not just online. I've experienced it throughout my youth. This is not hard to miss, and a lot of times, I've been through a lot in my days, even offline. So for me, if I can be kind to somebody online, make friends like I've made with you guys. I mean, can you imagine how many people are in our parties all the time, guys?
Sure.
And people will just drop in. It's nice. And these are the people that we want to be around. We want to bring other people in. I always tell people that I meet, hey, anytime you see us in party, come on in. We're very welcoming. We're very, we're very open, and just come game with us. And so if we can do that more, we can help make the gaming world a better place ourselves. And I'm all for that. Dilly. Again, I've outgrown some things. The world has changed. The gaming world has definitely changed. Because you mentioned a second ago that Phil Spencer, which he did, he brought up the GDC party. Mm-hmm. Back in the 90s, that wasn't a big deal. It is now. I don't necessarily see it because I understand, but there's, this is where we are in the world, and this is where we are as society is changing to what society is changing into. So I got what he said, even if I didn't think it was at the time. I didn't think it was as big a deal as some people made it out to be. But I have to recognize that the times are changing, and nowadays it's not the right thing. Gaming is doing the same thing. We're seeing more social commentary in gaming, and I don't know how I feel about it. I know that may surprise some of my friends, but I come from an older generation where we just play games to have fun. Like that's why a game like Sea of Thieves appeals to me so much. It's just a game. And it doesn't matter who I meet online. It doesn't matter, I don't look at the guy who if we come across a sloop and the guy doesn't want to fight, he wants to go, adventuring with us, I don't even think about where, color he is, if he's a guy or a girl, if he's a fellow Jew, if he's a Democrat or Republican. I don't care. Yeah. I just want to have fun. And that's where that's why a game like Sea of Thieves kind of appeals to me. And why retro gaming I think appeals to me more, because I didn't have to think about that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and also like with retro gaming, everything was more abstract though.
Yeah, it was.
You have to use more your own fantasy now, as everything is so detailed, and so everything has to be customizable and this or that.
Yeah.
Like characters and stuff in games, I don't really care. Just if they had the same person, whatever he or she or it will look like, I don't care. Let's play.
Yeah. Streets of Rage didn't matter.
I like a little customization. I like a little, like getting my my Admiral's look in Sea of Thieves was a big thing for me. I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, true. And it's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, it's what you get out of it. I just, I think the other thing too is, as the gaming audience has expanded out of, if you were a gamer back when I was younger, you were basically a nerd. Gaming has expanded into pop culture, and Phil Spencer is correct about this. It is blending and merging more and more with the overall entertainment industry. I mean, look how many games become movies now.
Right.
I mean, Lord, the Rock's bringing Rampage back of all things. Hey,
don't talk trash about Rampage. Rampage is awesome.
The game's fantastic. That's a classic. But as that audience has grown and expanded, so has the opinions about the games. So, sometimes I wonder if I really am too old for the modern game.
Nah. They'll put out a game that you dig. They'll put out some experience like, Horizon Zero Dawn that hooks you, and you'll be doing that and not even think about all this other crap.
That's true. I didn't think about anything. I just enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
So, it's really funny because they talk about females, leads in games, and Senua and Hellblade and Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. Look, I know they talk about those as great achievements, but hate to tell you, I've been playing Tomb Raider for a long time, and Lara Croft was the main character in every Tomb Raider, and that started back in the PC and the Sega Saturn. So, I didn't shun playing a game like that because, I can't play as a girl. No, I don't care. Hell, when I was playing Streets of Rage, I probably played more as Blaze than anybody else. You know why? Because she had great moves. She had that flip kick. She was the judo artist, so she had the great. She had some. She to me was a more balanced fighter than the other two.
Sure.
These are the things that so whenever I see this, and maybe that's where my reaction comes from. Whenever I see stuff like this, I'm just reminded that, right, Frankie, Seamus. I'm reminded that this is not something that's new.
Definitely not.
If that makes sense. So, all right. We totally bummed out the chat room. Look, so every once in a while we have to tackle something that's serious, maybe a little controversial. This is one of those things, and so before we finalize with the RetroRec, does anybody have anything else they would like to add to this?
Next week I'm going to figure out how to give away this 2-week
oh crap.
Game Pass
Totally
subscription for anyone who wants to try Sea of Thieves coming up here for free. Get to the first 2 weeks going, but we'll figure out some way to some contest
so sorry.
or something.
I totally forgot. We'll figure it out. So, all right. So hearing no other commentary.
No, all I can say is our party's always open, regardless where we game.
Yep, and who you are.
Yep.
So hit us up and we'll have a good time.
Yep. All right. Let's get to it. Hang on. My favorite part of the show. changed it up a bit more for you.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to preface this before you get started by saying that if the video that I'm about to show starts to chug the stream, please let me know as soon. Well, I can't see the chat, so somebody in the chat, I'm going to bring it up. Let me know as soon as you can, and I will switch to a different res. But I'm hoping that this works because this game is beautiful, and I want it shown in Juan's native resolution. All right.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a special project this time. It was time for the OG Xbox's rotation in the Retro Rec this week, and so tried something just a little bit different as opposed to doing the OG hardware like I generally do. I went with the OG BC on the Xbox One X. And so I really wanted to kind of show this game off in its better form, and also just kind of talk about OGBC too and how it's kind of sweet. This, I think, too, is also the kind of the party piece, the showpiece right now for OGBC. So you can go ahead and kick it off. Obviously, we're talking about Ninja Gaiden Black. Fantastic game. I went through it just last year just to go relive the challenge again. It was circa 2005 on Xbox exclusively, following up 2004's Ninja Gaiden. It was developed by Team Ninja. They were founded in 1995, and they're still active. They're known for the Dead or Alive series, the Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, Ninja Gaiden, of course, and some of the Warrior series games, and more recently Neo on the PlayStation 4. Originally formed by members of Tecmo, and they were absorbed into Tecmo Koei in 2009. This game was published by Tecmo, who was founded in 1967 as a supplier of cleaning equipment, of all things. They switched to producing amusement equipment, arcade machines, and amusement stuff in 1969. Mighty Bomb Jack on the Famicom was their first home game in 1986, and then they proceeded with Rygar, Ninja Gaiden on the NES, and then moving forward, of course, Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl, Monster Rancher, and of course the Ninja Gaiden series here later. In 2008, they actually declined a friendly takeover by Square Enix, which could have made for some interesting history, and in 2009 they merged with Koei to form Koei Tecmo Holdings. This game is a single-player action-adventure hack and slash. Seen here on the X. This was in a 1080p because I hadn't got my 4K TV yet, so this is a 1080p output. But I think it does some pretty nice stuff for the game, sharpens it up. You get the same textures, but this game supports widescreen for the cinematics as well. So it's one of the better pieces of OGBC. But again, single-player action-adventure hack and slash. The player controls Super Ninja Ryu Hayabusa, a longtime protagonist of the series, and a character in Dead or Alive as well. The events of the Xbox game may be previous to those of the Nintendo series, as indicated by interviews with the director. Ryu engages in combat with various weapons, and he interacts with the environment via acrobatic feats like wall running, running across pools of water, wall jumping, and climbing narrow sections with multiple wall jumps. Also, some vaulting, hand over hand, and hanging type traversals. The game's world is made of several distinct regions, mostly centered on Tyron, the capital of the fictional Vigor Empire. Inspired by Legend of Zelda, the different regions are accessed via defeating enemies, finding keys, or solving puzzles. Combat in the game was considered one of the deeper systems among Xbox games at its time, comparing well with PS2 games God of War and Devil May Cry in its day. Eric Williams, who was a designer of the God of War combat system, explained that Ninja Gaiden Black prohibits players from stopping or changing attacks mid-swing as God of War does, and said that compared with those two games, combat in Ninja Gaiden Black was harder to master but let players fight on even terms with their computer-controlled foes. The game features a large selection of upgradable weapons with varied styles. Blades like the Dragon Sword and the Tetsu grant quick attacks and flying swallow slashing attack. Ryu can also use his signature Izuna drop spinning power driver with that weapon. Heavier weapons like the Dabiraho, an unlabored flawlessness, are slow but cause more damage and can also be used for opening access to certain areas of the game. Flails and staves can be used to string together long combos of attack, and Ryu can engage distant enemies with shuriken, bows, and arrows of various types, including explosive and armor piercing. Essence, which is dropped by defeated enemies, you may have seen in the video some of the little orbs there, can be used for restoring health, restoring magic power, and also for karma, which functions as cash in the game for buying items and upgrades. Over the course of the game, Ryu learns 3 different Nimpo magic spells as well. A fire, a lightning, and an ice spell. Some of the animations are invulnerable as they play out, granting a brief invincibility, which can play nice in boss fights. But dissatisfied with the visual effects of the Nimpo spells, the director actually tweaked level bonus scoring to discourage their use. You get more points if you don't use them because he really wasn't that keen on how they looked. Development on the game started in 1999, originally targeting the Dreamcast. Tecmo changed the plan to PS2 when the Dreamcast ended, but the director, Itagaki, had other plans. Having been impressed with the Xbox software developer kit, he pushed the team to develop it for the Xbox. Tecmo remained silent on this and surprised fans at E303, announcing the game as an Xbox exclusive, which shocked them because they had put out a poll that had shocked fans, because fans had responded to a poll put out by Tecmo that the GameCube was the desired system. When the director made the game, he aimed to make it hard but alluring. He wanted to focus not on challenging the player's memory and timing, but skill and reflexes instead. He made a point of designing smoothly flowing gameplay with high-quality animations that reacted quickly. Ninja Gaiden Black again came out in 2005, a year after the original release, and reworked Ninja Gaiden cameras a little bit, and added both of the Hurricane Pack DLCs, which added gameplay levels, enemies, player costumes, along with 2 additional difficulty levels, Ninja Dog and Master Ninja, which is, of course, the hardest one. One kind of cute thing is the Ninja Dog difficulty actually has small pieces of mocking in the game for choosing it, like the Ayane character from Dead or Alive treats Ryu as inferior in their conversations if you've chosen the Ninja Dog level. The game was met with critical acclaim and commercial success. EGM called it unmissable instant classic, and no Xbox should be without it. GameSpot said it's one of the best, most challenging action games ever made. IGN said it set the new standard for third-person action games in terms of length, depth, speed, and gore. Most of the criticism of the game centered around the occasional issues with the camera in the original version. Ninja Gaiden Black was rated as GameSpot's best Xbox game of 2005, and IGN's best Xbox action game of 2005 as well, and currently holds a 94 Metacritic rating. If I remember right, I think I picked my copy up at a local shop on disc for the teens, but on eBay they seem to be going for between $20 and $30, so it still kind of holds some value. Not crazy for collectors, but not exactly cheap. It's also available as part of the Xbox Game Pass currently, and so you can, with your Game Pass, it's one of the 100 some odd plus games, 160 games, I can't remember, but great game to play if you're not up on it or never missed it back in the day, and getting in on the Game Pass and all the other stuff that's on there is a pretty good deal in my opinion. I love the game. It is, I think, one of the more challenging games I've ever played. It's truly the whole get good thing that Dark Souls kind of co-opted, because there's not really much in the way of leveling. I mean, you can upgrade your weapons and such to a degree, but not really the same degree as forging in Dark Souls, and there's no leveling up, no grinding, come back more powerful. You just kind of have to get good, and it is pretty demanding. Visually, I thought it was really outstanding back in the day too. I think it still holds up pretty well, especially on the OGBC with the additional sharpness of the higher resolution. I just played it today actually on my 4K, and it's really interesting to see the game with that kind of resolution. So that is why it is this week's retro recommendation. Can't go wrong with NGB.
Not at all. I used to upload all my karma scores too.
Yep. There, I thought about putting that into the video too, a little bit on the online competition, but it was kind of a wordy section, and I knew I was already getting windy on this one.
That's okay. But, this is one where you can get windy on.
Yeah, they did have a pretty extensive kind of early esports thing with it. That there was some controversy over whether or not the leading score was actually attainable if they hadn't cheated. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic game. Holds up really well. And I'd love to see something done with the franchise. Love to see something new. I know that the director, isn't there anymore, but in my opinion, it didn't necessarily go uphill with the later games. But yeah, it's a fantastic game, whether you're playing it on old hardware, on the new hardware, and if you've got the an Xbox One or an Xbox One X, and you can get at this, it's totally, this game by itself is worth $10 to play through it in that month to do the the Game Pass. So totally recommend it.
Yep. All right. And I'm trying to remember. So when Tomonobu Itagaki left Tecmo, was not the last time that you saw Ninja Gaiden, because after Ninja Gaiden Black, one of the first Ninja Gaiden games that you saw for the PlayStation 3 was Sigma.
Sigma, right?
So at the
which
time,
was
go ahead.
Which was mostly black. Sigma was reworked a little bit too, but was more or less black.
Yeah, it basically it had weapons, different weapons for Ryu. It had dual wield swords, a dragon's claw, and something else like a.
It have upgraded visuals too.
It did. It also. What's her name? Rachel. Thank you. Sorry, and you said that. A non-player character. She actually was playable in 3 chapters in Sigma.
Right.
So, yeah. But I cannot remember who. I'm looking it up. Itagaki did not have anything to do with Sigma. The reason I'm saying this is because if it was to come back, I'm not sure if the same guys who are leading Tecmo right now in that division are still there at all. But I do know that they brought out Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus for the Vita, so there is a possibility that there's something that could happen. I would love to see it myself. Yeah,
it's still a real joy to play that game. The combat, kind of as I mentioned, it's not forgiving, but it's demanding, but it's rewarding. Like, it really feels, when you do when you have a good section, it feels really great. And it's got some pretty epic bosses. I can't recommend it enough. If it's not in your, if you have an OG Xbox library like I do, or if yours is all digital, it really should be in either or both.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. All right. Cool.
Very nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
And do you still have the original rec videos for this from the playthrough?
Maybe?
I'm gonna look on your OneDrive. The reason I ask is because, so you did a playthrough for the YouTube channel,
right?
I would like to bring that playthrough over here to Twitch. I just don't like pulling it off of YouTube because the quality gets degraded as you upload it to YouTube. I would love to have that redone in its native res, and it's the native quality that you recorded it in over here. I'm gonna check your I'm going to check your OneDrive, see if it's there. If it's still there, I'm going to re-grab all of those videos, and I'm going to redo the playthrough and put it up here.
That's cool.
So, what I might do is I might make it one long playthrough. Might do one big video.
Sweet.
Like you did with the Battletoads. I might do that. All right. Cool. I think we've covered it all. And even on a slightly slower week, we still went an hour, 2.5 hours. So I want to get us out of here. Gentlemen, thank you for another great show.
Anytime.
Chat room, thank you for another great chat room. And does anybody have anything else they want to do before we rock and roll out of here?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that this week a new Pinball FX tables came out.
Oh,
the Jurassic Park.
Ooh.
So it's Jurassic World and then 2 Jurassic Park ones, and it's fantastic. It's so cool. I streamed a little bit on my own channel, just a little bit, like Nate and Super Cooper. We were in a party and it's like, oh yeah, let me show you off this real quick. So, but yeah,
it was nice.
Plays really well. It's really awesome.
Cool.
Looks good.
You'll have to stream some for.
I'll stream some more.
Yeah, stream some for the Twitch channel.
Will do.
All right.
I got a PlayStation PS1 game lined up for the next retro.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to that.
So Nathan, man of many words.
Hey, I think I talked a little tonight.
A little, yeah.
See, thank you. No. You guys keep me going. It's just been tough. But I think
that's what we're here for.
We still need to have a week game night, so let's get that started so we can all play.
Every night is game night.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean for like the NLG, boom, this is it. Play with us because we're cool.
Yeah, I do want to do that. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with it because for me, getting home from work, I'm not home till 9, and that's after working a 10-hour day, so it's tough eating dinner and then fitting in game before it's time to go to bed and do it all over again because so much of my day is work each day. But yeah, I'd like to look at that. Mondays might not be a bad way for me to do that.
It may not be a horrible night. So okay, well we'll do that. Next week we will introduce our new segment. The backlog is real. We're going to each of us pick a game that's in our backlog that I know, as Peter said, his entire game list is his backlog. I
Except
feel you.
Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Except Wildlands, right. I feel you, brother. So the idea is we're going to each pick a game in our backlog, talk about why we got it, what brought us to get it in the first place. Was it a free game? Was it, you bought it because of this, started to play it, why it's fallen into your backlog. And our folks at home can play along with us. We'll open that up to the chat room. So chat room guys, think of a game that's in your backlog next week, and in the chat room, we want you to tell us why you bought it and why you haven't finished it, and it'll run in the chat and we'll talk about it. All right, I think that's it. We're gonna head on out of here. Nathan the Moose. So
let's do this.
Juan, thank you for another fantastic Retro Rec. And we will see you guys next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Twitch at Twitch/OG_NLG NL Gaming. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Our individual Twitters are here, and of course the OG_NL Gaming Twitter as well. And once again, thanks to our chat room. We will see you guys next week. Have a great week, everybody. Play on, gamers.
Peace out.
Dilly dilly.